Yeah, these comments are for SB, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT. And you answered, it looks like, my independent speaking practice test 2 here. So choose an event that has meaning for you. Explain how it has changed you.
Personally, getting married is a wonderful event in my life. Although it was an unexpected occasion, it has changed my lifestyle. My marriage was a complete surprise because it was arranged by my parents. Moreover, I never saw him before, though I married him.
I would say I had never seen him before I married him. So I think the past perfect tense is going to work better, I think, in this case.
Because I respected my parents' decision. After getting married, my dressing style, preferences, habits were modified because of the person who entered into my life. For example, I prefer to wear classics and formals, but now I am adapting to modern, funky, and trendy clothes. And
good descriptive words there.
In addition, I used to eat lots of fast food, but I changed that habit and
use that word eat. I used to eat a lot of fast foods.
Now I prefer to eat home food, which is very good for my health, which is why it is more essential event.
Okay, I'm trying to see what you said at the very end there. Hold on.
Essential event.
Let me go back here. Hold on.
Eat home food, which is very good for my health, which is why it is more essential event.
Yeah, at the very end there you had some word stress issues, so I'm not exactly sure what you said. I think overall you had a pretty clear organization on it, so my suggestion is in the beginning when you create your topic statement, try to introduce the support points that you referred to in the body of your response, but try to introduce them briefly in the introduction. Then as you restate them in the body of your response, you'll have a little bit more coherent organization of ideas. So I think that would help. You had those are just some minor suggestions with topic development. I think overall you have pretty good vocabulary and grammar, not too many problems there. You had some minor delivery issues on this one. So I'm going to put you at about 2.83 out of 4, 22 points out of 30 on this practice test. Hi there, these comments are for Harpreet17, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT. And you completed independent speaking practice test number 59. Alright, so let's take a look at what this question is here. So we have, which is more challenging, finding a good job or saving money to buy a nice house? Give reasons and examples to support your response. Okay, let's listen to your independent speaking 59.
In my opinion, saving your money is hard to have a nice house because of the family expenses and also due to one primary earner. First of all, saving it.
So let's go back to that one again. Give me just one more second here. So you're saying that saving money is more difficult, right?
In my opinion, saving your money is hard to have a nice house because of the family expenses and also due to one primary earner. First of all, saving your money is a hard task to have a nice house.
Usually saving money, not saving a money. Now if you said saving a large amount of money, then you could probably put A in there, but I think the way that you said, I would not put the article A.
Because of the family expenses and also due to one primary earner. For example, my husband is the primary earner in the family and he has to take care of everything such as mortgage bills, bills of water and electricity, and also the credit card payments. So he doesn't have any help from my side and from his brother's side. Therefore, it's hard for him to save money to have a wonderful house.
Yeah, this one I think you can probably support your ideas a little bit better with some details. So I think you're having some minor weaknesses with topic development. Not too bad with delivery. I mean, you have a bit of a non-native speaker accent, so I'm going to put you at about 2.83 out of 4, 22 points out of 30 on this practice test. Hi there, these comments are for Shimbesh, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT. And I'm going to listen to your independent, it looks like speaking question number 52. So let's take a look at what this one is. What's your favorite type of book or movie? Describe it and explain why it is important.
In my opinion, family comedy are my favorite type of movies because they let me have a wonderful time with family and also they relax me. First of all, family comedy are type of movies that are full of fun and let me feel joy and delighted.
Okay.
First of all, watching family comedy let me have a wonderful time with family. For example, 3 days ago, I watched the movie Dumb and Dumber 2. The actors, the story, the special effects made it a funny movie, and how the actors dealt with each other with extreme idiocy and stupidity let me feel funny and have fun.
So extreme agility and stability. So you had some problems pronouncing both of those words. The example is good though. I like how you brought up the specific name of the movie.
Full time with family. Second of all, because I work as a doctor, watching family comedy take me away from my stressful environment.
I would say takes me away from, so be careful there. So you had that's a systematic error though, not a major error, but still you're having a little bit of trouble pronouncing some of the words within your thought groups.
Environments and let me back to work fresh and worries free.
Okay, I would say worry-free, not worries-free. I would use that worry as an adjective there, not put S on it. So I think on this one, I think it might be tough to get 24 on this. You did have some language use issues, some minor delivery issues. So I'm going to put you at about, on this one, 3.0 out of 4, 23 points out of 30 on this practice test. Yeah, hi there. These comments are for Meg Del Almeida, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT. And I'm going to listen to your integrated speaking practice test number 1, reading, listening, and speaking. And let me go ahead and click on the rubrics here too. I want to make sure I have the rubrics so when I get done I can accurately score your essay. Okay, here we go.
The casual conversation related
You want to see the word casual. Casual conversation.
to the newspaper's news talks about advertisements and how they can be one of the most effective techniques to gain the attention of massive part of population.
Now you're taking too long here, so you're 17 seconds into your response, and I recommend right in the beginning that you include a topic statement that states the purpose of both the reading and the listening passage. So then you might say something like this. You might say the reading and the listening passage discuss the political and economic effects of advertising. That's the beginning. Then say, first of all, according to the reading passage, advertising can have political effects. and then you get some examples there. And then you say, second of all, according to the listening passage, advertising can have economic effects. Then you explain that.
Days of today. Among the several types of advertisements purpose, there are the political and economical appeals.
You see, that's good, but you're 28 to 29 seconds before you're getting to that, and that's just too long. You don't have that much time, so you have to speak a lot faster. You have to get to your points a lot quicker.
For example, politicians can raise their recognition and thereby influence people on their vote by using advertisements on both media. On the other hand, advertisements can highly influence economically people to
So I don't think on the other hand is probably the right word. I would use in addition there, so you're not trying to show how the information is opposite in idea, but you're simply showing, or you're adding to the information that you've already mentioned. So a word like furthermore, moreover, is probably better. Even a word like in addition.
purchase particular brand of product.
Yeah, I think on this one you're having some topic development issues, as I explained in there. I don't think that you covered all of the important information because you took too much time just setting up the introduction. So delivery, some minor delivery issues in it. Probably, I think, with thought groups and blending. So if you go to my pronunciation lessons 41 through 44 and then practice the lessons on thought groups and blending, and what you're trying to do is you're trying to create a little bit longer thought groups. Your thought group should be between 4 or 5 stressed syllables. Actually 5 to 6 stressed syllables. Then you have a pause. Then you have another 5 to 6 stressed syllables with another pause. And that's going to allow you, once you can get to that grouping, you'll be able to speak faster, I think, a little more naturally. So your score here, I'm going to put you at 2.3 out of 4, 18 points out of 30 on this practice test. Yeah, hi there. These comments are for Min Soo, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT. I'm going to listen to your independent speaking practice test number 291. So let's take a look at what this question is first. So what's your favorite way to relax after a hard day at work? Use specific examples and details in your response.
My favorite way to relax after hard work is relaxing at home because I love to watch TV and I eat tasty food. The first reason is that...
Okay, so you have your 2 points. You like watching TV and eating tasty foods, and that's why you like to relax at home after a hard day's work.
Watching TV helps me relax.
Let's say watching TV helps me to relax. So put that third person S on the end of your verb there.
For example, I love to watch comedy or a sitcom. It's a great way to...
I will say I like to watch comedy or sitcom instead of it is. Say which is a great way to. If you put which in there, you're using an adjective clause connector, and that's demonstrating more advanced grammar as opposed to just using 2 short, simple sentences back to back.
Laugh at the TV program. I can relax because my brain doesn't need to work anymore watching those TV programs. The other reason is that I eat tasty food. Actually, I need...
The other reason I like to eat, I would restate the purpose of the speaking at this point. You're 34 seconds from the beginning of it, and it's time to remind your audience what you're trying to do here. So the other reason why I like to relax at home after a hard day's work is...
some energy to boost my stamina. So I really love to eat tasty food like curry or spaghetti after finishing my hard work. It's a great way to prepare for my next day.
Okay.
For these reasons, I prefer to relax at my home.
Okay, I think overall your organization, you have a coherent organization, so you're definitely connecting your ideas together. That's a good thing. So, for the most part, so still you're having some minor delivery issues, maybe some minor language issues, nothing that's really difficult, but probably some things that will bring your score down a little bit. Now, one thing I'd like you to work on with delivery is your intonation. So you can go to my pronunciation lessons 36 through 40, all of which will help you to speak more naturally, particularly in the sense that you'll learn how to vary your intonation a little bit more than you do. All right, so your score here, I'm going to put you at about, I still think it's pretty good, 3.0 out of 4, 23 points out of 30 on this practice test. Hi there, these comments are for Dieta79, and I am Michael, the founder owner and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT. I'm going to listen to your independent speaking practice test number 23. So let's take a look at this particular practice test. So what would you like to change about the school system in your country?
Two things I would like to change about the school system in my country. The first thing, I would promote teamwork strategy. For example,
Let me go back to the beginning again.
Two things I would like to change about the school system in my country. The first thing,
I would say there are two things I'd like to change about the school system in my country. That way you have a independent clause.
would promote teamwork strategy. For example, I graduated from a school at which each student was taught individually.
Wow, at which. Very nice grammar there. I'm going to give you some points for that. That's very formal, and a lot of students have no idea how to say at which, and you just did that, and you formed the sentence perfectly there.
As a result, when I graduated and I joined the work field, I was not able to communicate with my friends because this was not the way I was raised on. And the second thing that I would like to change is to make exercising.
I would say this is not the way in which I was raised. So I'd probably use there, instead of that I was raised on, I would say in which I was raised. That's probably a better way to say that idea.
Mandatory every day. For instance, there is a direct relationship between exercising regularly and being healthy. And healthy students would be able to focus more on their studies and to achieve an academic success. Which is why those are the two things that I would like to change about the school system in my country.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Those are good reasons, no doubt. Okay, here, I think overall, I think I gave you one language use suggestion, maybe using the word in which instead of that I was raised on. So one maybe minor problem with language use. I think overall you have pretty good topic development and your appropriate supporting details connected back to your topic statement in the beginning, so there was a fairly coherent organization of ideas. Maybe, I think some minor delivery issues, but nothing that affected my ability to understand what you're saying, right? So I'm going to put you at about 24 to 26 points out of 30 on this, 3.1 to 3.3. So I think it's possible that you could get a score 4 on this one. Hi there, these comments are for Heartpreet 17, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT. I'm going to listen to your independent speaking practice test number 60. So let's take a look at what this question is. Here we go. So name a person whom you admire. Why do you admire him or her so much? Use reasons and examples to support your response.
I admire my husband the most because he's always supportive and understanding to me. First of all, I always admire my husband because he's supportive.
Okay.
For example, when I had to prepare for my TOEFL examination, then he supported me by taking care of my kid, and he gave me so much time to study.
And he gave me so much time.
Therefore, I
would probably use the past tense there. You're talking about something that he did in the past.
to study and able to accomplish my target. Moreover, he is always understanding to me. For example, whenever we had a tough situation at our home in between my mother-in-law and myself, then he always been understanding and tried to solve the problem. And
then he was always understanding when we had to solve the problem. So it's a little bit tricky. I mean, you're talking about things that he does on a regular basis, right? That explains why you're using the simple present tense. But once you throw a cue in there and you say a word like for example or for instance, and then you bring up a point to support that, I don't think the simple present works anymore. You have to use the simple past verb tense to explain that idea.
And he never took the side of anyone, but he always tried to solve the problem.
Okay, so I think on this one you're having some language use issues sometimes with your verb tenses. Okay, so I think that's something that you want to be careful about. So that's probably the biggest issue is language use on this one. Your topic development I think was pretty good. Maybe some minor delivery issues, but I think probably language use is the one that will bring this score down below 4. So I'm going to put you at about 3.0 out of 4, 23 points out of 30 on this practice test. Hi there, these comments are for MySum, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT. And I'm going to listen to your independent speaking practice test number 7. Alright, so let's take a look at what we have here. So this one, which of the two do you prefer when exercising, running, or riding a bicycle?
Expenses and space available for doing the exercise are two most important factors that made me choose running over riding a bicycle.
That's a good topic statement right there. You have your two supporting points, and you're just not using a contrived type intro. It doesn't look like you memorized that. So I think that's some pretty good grammar the way you put that together.
First of all,
and the other good thing is it only took you 10 seconds to introduce your ideas, so that's a good strategy. Get things set up quickly and then move on to your first support point.
Running, we don't have so much expenses. We just need a pair of sneakers and nothing else. No, but for
well, you need more than sneakers. You need a singlet, some running shorts, sneakers, maybe a running watch. You don't need a lot, but you do need some things.
Riding a bicycle, we have different expenses like.
I wouldn't say I would say if I ride a bicycle, I will have numerous expenses or more expenses than when running, you might say.
A pair of sneakers, suitable clothing, safety helmet, and of course a bike. In second position, we can do running in every place, even in our bedroom, by doing running in place.
Okay.
But for riding a bicycle, we should use public places like streets that sometimes it's dangerous. Because of these reasons, I prefer running over riding a bicycle.
Let's go back.
Expenses and space available for doing the exercise.
Okay, so you illustrate both of your points through your examples, right? So I think overall this is a pretty good response. So let's look at the rubrics here. So topic development, you have your introduction, you restate your key points, you have some relevant supporting details, so I think that's pretty good. Language use, with the first one, when you're talking about running, you were a little bit short of vocabulary when you were talking about the equipment that you needed to run. So you can probably improve a little bit with language use, especially vocabulary. So try to be very specific in the words you're using. Intonation, I think I can understand everything you're saying. I'd like to see you make some improvements with delivery, especially with intonation. That's probably something you can work on. So you can go to pronunciation, lessons 36 through 40, which focus on intonation. Your score here, I still think it's a pretty good response. I'm going to put you at 3.0 out of 4, 23 points out of 30 on this practice test. Yeah, hi there, Shambesh, and this is Michael, the founder owner and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT. And I am going to comment, it looks like intonation part 4, you're working on intonation with items in a series, right? So let's take a look and see how you did with this.
Or practice intonation and items in a series. 1. It's important to prepare for a test beforehand to manage your time efficiently and to avoid making careless errors.
That was perfect. So you're slightly inflecting or rising your tone after each item except the last item in the sentence, right? And you're also pausing after each item because they represent thought groups.
2. She likes hiking, swimming, biking, and shopping. 3. The
Perfect.
professor knows that his students studied hard for the exam, that they have mastered the course material, and that they are ready to become doctors.
Wow, that is perfect. Absolutely perfect.
4. Kintaro went to school today. He took the computer-based TOEFL and he received a passing score.
I'll do a bit better on this one, but even though these are sentences, I don't want you to be confused here. They all represent items in a series. You have 3 independent clauses here. So then you say, Kintaro went to school today. He took the computer-based TOEFL and he received a passing score. That's when your tone drops.
5. Southern California has many well-known universities, some of which include the following: USC, UCLA, UCSD, and UCR.
Perfect.
6. Televisions, cellular telephones, and personal computers are electronic appliances which use computer chips. 7. My favorite Western movies are High Noon, Once Upon a Time in the West, and The Wild Bunch. 8. Mowing the yard, taking out the garbage, and weeding the garden were among some of the chores that I had as a child.
Okay.
9. When you go to the store, remember to get cereal, eggs, flour, cookies, fruit, and tortillas.
Nice.
10. Where you go, what you do, and whom you see is none of my business.
Yeah, on this one, Kintaro, Shembesh, I liked everything. My only suggestion is 1. So you're definitely improving your intonation, so you're doing what you need to do. My only suggestion on this one was, let me go back and listen to it or look at it. Number 4, the one that involved the independent clauses. They all represent items in a series, so you would say something like this. Kentaro went to school today. He took the computer-based TOEFL, and he received a passing score. So even though those are sentences, because there's 3 independent clauses consecutively, the tone should rise slightly on a little bit on the first 2, then you drop it when you get to the final sentence there. But I mean, this was really good practice for you, and I think you did a really good job on this exercise. Yeah, hi there. These comments are for Adriana, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT. If you could do me a favor, maybe at Twitter or wherever you do social media, if you could post a link to my website at onlinetoeflcourse.com and maybe just make a brief sentence about my course, that would be very, very helpful. So anyway, let me go ahead and listen to your independent speaking practice test number 2. So choose an event that has meaning for you. Explain how it has changed you.
An event that has meaning for me was my first communion. The first communion is a sacrament that we have in the Catholic Church.
Okay.
What it consists is that is the first time that a child,
or you can just say it represents the first time instead of what it consists. That's a little bit awkward how you said that.
receives the Holy Communion at Mass. After the Mass, we had a celebration with family and friends. They gave me presents and we had a little party. The most important of this tradition for me is that since that day I'm able to receive the body of Christ as we believe in our.
And since that day, I have been able to. I think it would be better when you're using since to use the present perfect tense there. It kind of triggers a present perfect tense.
Teacher.
Yeah, I think on this one there's a couple of things. So you had some minor language use issues. You want to keep working in the pronunciation area of my course on your delivery. Topic development, I think you need to try to connect ideas together a little bit better so you have a little bit better organization. So if you go to my speaking lesson number 2 and also my speaking lesson number 7, you can get some general tips on how to make your speaking a little bit more organized. Okay, let's take a look at your score here. So I'm going to put you in the 2 range, maybe 2.5 out of 4, 19 points out of 30 on this practice test. Yeah, hi there. These comments are for Migdelmeda, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of my lessons at the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT. Hey, if you could do a favor for me today, it would be very helpful. If you like my online course, I know you've been working really hard. You've been posting a lot of writing and speaking. Tell somebody about my course. You can post maybe a message at your Facebook page or Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, whatever social media you use, and just post a link in there to onlinetoeflcourse.com. If you do that, I would be very, very thankful. It helps me keep the cost of my course down for my students, so I don't have to worry about advertising. I just go by word of mouth. All right, so let's listen to your practice test here.
In the conversation, the student was talking about a campus newspaper which addressed the reasons why the students go to school.
Okay.
According to
So that you have the students are talking about the reasons why students go to school. So they're discussing something that they've read, right? And you're making the connection, I think, between the two sources.
point of view, for example, Students attend to physical geography classes.
I wouldn't say students attend to, just say students attend physical geography classes. So once you use the word attend, this is the way that you're using it there. You would use it more as a transitive verb, not as an intransitive verb, which means no preposition is needed there.
To understand how the various landscapes are formed and which are the protective measures to preserve them. Additionally,
I like that. And additionally, so you're using that to add to what was already said. So that helps to organize your ideas.
students seek education to make more money. To illustrate this point, he mentioned about a specific student who went to small business classes to improve
You want to say the word bid, not business, but business.
his entrepreneurial skills and to understand on how to be more productive and consequently to make.
Nice word, consequently. I liked how you used that within your sentence there. It's very good grammar, and it also is effective in connecting your ideas together, especially to show cause-effect relationship.
More money. He wanted to run in the future a family business.
Okay, so overall, I think you have a fairly organized response here. So let's take a look at where would you score here? I'm going to put you at about 2.6 out of 4 in this, 20 points out of 30. So with your pronunciation, I'd like to have you take a look at you've already been working on it, but it's pronunciation lesson, I think, number 11, that focuses on those two vowel sounds. For example, mit, meat. So you're having more trouble with the I, that particular vowel sound. I think your organization was pretty good, and you had good topic, good language use there, maybe some minor issues. So again, I'll put you at 2.6 out of 4, 20 points out of 30 on this speaking practice test.